Mic check, mic check. What is going on? TryHard Podcast listeners, we are back for another episode, baby. We back. What I tell you guys, all right? We're going to keep this bitch consistent all the time. That's what that means. Consistency, all right? We're going to keep on our shit. We're back, I need to chill with the swearing, but let's hear the gunshots. Listen. Let me tell you guys something, all right? Let me tell you something. All right, shout out to everybody that listened to the other day's episode. Appreciate you guys. Like I said before, like I said then, we're going to keep this shit consistent as much as possible, all right? We're going to keep up with the daily competitive Call of Duty esports news, all right? Which means there's some days that are going to be slow and some days some shit's going to be popping, all right? Yesterday and today, some shit went down. Nothing crazy, but, a couple things for us to talk about. So I said, fuck it. We're gonna pop the podcast open. All right. Listen, I appreciate everybody that checked out last weekend's episode or this past week's episode, and the other day's episode. Shout out to you guys hitting my DMs. I appreciate that, man. It means a lot. It means a lot when people show their appreciation for the content, specifically this podcast. Listen, you guys, I want you to understand. All right, I want you to understand. This podcast was like one of the original Call of Duty podcasts. All right, before the Flank, before any, I was one of the original podcasts. All right. Now, to my detriment, it was my fault. I didn't stay consistent. I didn't stay consistent. You know what I mean? Again, guys, I'm a grown ass man. I don't make no money off this podcast or my content, period. Right? I make no money off this shit. And I don't really plan on making money off of it. I do this shit because I love to do it. I love to talk Call of Duty. I love to play Call of Duty. I love competitive Call of Duty. Even though I'm ass, even though I'm older, I love this shit. All right? So when I do these podcasts, okay, and I get the response that I get, even if it's a couple people, that means a lot. And to me, it means a lot, right? And on top of that, my overall vision for this podcast, especially with the new format that we're doing, where we're doing, daily as much as possible, every day or every other day, right? What I really want, I want this podcast to become a part of your routine, your daily. Some of you guys listen to music. Some of you guys listen to podcasts. Some of you guys listen to music and podcasts. I want this podcast to be something that you look forward to, even if it's a couple of you guys, right? I want you to be at school. Actually, I shouldn't say school. At work, right? And look forward to me entertaining you or giving you information for the next 30 to 40 minutes or an hour. You know what I mean? So that's why I do this podcast, all right? Right now, it's Wednesday here where I live. It's 8:10 p.m., okay? I want to do this podcast. Or I could be streaming right now playing COD or NCAA. You know what I mean? I could be doing two of those things. But I want to talk to y'all. I want to let y'all know what's going on, give you something to listen to the next morning, and give you my kind of input and opinions on the things we're going to talk about today. So just keep that in mind. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for. I had like a dozen people hit my DM that don't even follow me, that showed their appreciation for the podcast, and like half of those people were like, "Hey, can you make sure to stay consistent?" Because that's one thing that's missing within Call of Duty podcasts right now is people don't like today. There's an episode of The Flank today, I think, right? I think there is. When was the last episode? Like 2 weeks ago? No, we ain't going to do that here. Here on the TryHard Podcast, we're every day. Or every other day. But we're every day. You got me? You got it? You understand? You get what I'm saying? If you don't like to be entertained every day, this probably isn't for you. But if you want to hear the the daily news and daily news breakings of the competitive Call of Duty scene, you're in the right spot. You're in the right motherfucking spot. Again, I appreciate everybody that checked out the other day's episode, which was Monday, right? Monday or Tuesday? Monday's episode. And hope you guys enjoyed. All right. So let's get into it. Let's fucking get into it. Couple things happened yesterday and today. Obviously we touched on a little bit, we touched on a little bit about Sib becoming a free agent, right? Also, before we get into that, let's talk about the beta. All right, we covered the beta last episode, but we're going to talk a little bit more about the beta. The beta wrapped up today around 10 o'clock in the morning, so earlier today it wrapped up. People can chill now. You can stop playing the beta like it's the real fucking game. And overall, I think it was for me like. I love the movement. More than likely, I am not going to be good at. And I said this last episode, last podcast. I said the exact same thing. More than likely, I'm not going to be good at this COD, right? No matter how much I grind on it, right? I'm more likely not going to be good at it. Reason for it is there's an actual skill gap, and I get it. I'm disrespecting my gameplay. I get that, but I'm also a realist. I'm not blind, right? So with this, with BO6, there's gonna be a skill gap. All right, so the cracked kids are gonna have a good time. All right, the people who run ARs are gonna have a good time for a little bit, and then things are going to change. Again, we're not going to get too deep into that. We already kind of covered that last episode. If you want to know my full opinion on the BO6 beta and what I thought about it, go check last week or the other day's episode, Monday's episode 49, I think it is. Oh, yeah, that's right. This is episode 50, you guys. 50. Let's fucking go, baby. Episode 50. Episode 50. Let's fucking go. Round of applause for me. But anyway, like I said, we're gonna keep this podcast consistent. So 50, next milestone 60. And I think once we hit 100 episodes, we'll probably do some kind of giveaway. The people who actually listen to the podcast. Also, if you're listening to this, follow us on TikTok. All right. I'm actually right after I get done with this, before I go to bed, I'm going to make a TikTok account for this podcast, and I'm going to upload like clips and shit. You know what I mean? So if you want to see like small clips or some kind of content, more extra content from the podcast, follow us on the TryHard Podcast. It'll be up by the time you guys listen to this. But yeah, so that's that with the beta. The BO6 beta officially wrapped earlier this morning. So yeah, not bad. Whatever, it's a beta. I don't really give a fuck about it. Obviously the grinders care a lot more than I care about it. But yeah, beta's a wrap. And then yeah, then this weekend we have the beta again, right? And I guess they're gonna tune some stuff. They're gonna tune some weapons. So I'm assuming the Jackal, the sub that everyone's using, is gonna be tuned to shit. So I guess that's good. Yeah, and I think they're gonna make the level cap to 30. I think it is. So yeah, this weekend another rendition of the beta. We'll see how that goes. Maybe some changes and hopefully some good changes. Again, the fucking game allegedly they've been working on for the last 3 to 4 years. So the game should be done already, right? You would think, but whatever. Enough of the fucking beta. Let's talk about. I wanted to talk about Clayster. Clayster. I'd seen he tweeted. Hold on a minute. Well, actually, we'll pull this motherfucker up. We'll pull up the tweet. We'll pull up the tweet right now. I'm not going to bring it up on screen. But if you listen to this podcast on audio, I want you to know that we do a video version of the podcast as well. So if you're a video type of person, we do that. So go check that out. All right. So hold Hold on, I gotta find the fucking tweet. I gotta find the tweet. Right here. So the other day, Clayster reveals he has no offers and might not compete in BO6. All right, let's listen to the. We'll listen to the actual tweet. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up on the screen here for the YouTube audience, and then we'll get into it. I thought it was interesting. Interesting to see if he's telling the truth. All right, he might not be telling. He might be just trolling, but we'll figure it out here. Hold on a minute. Pull it up. God, I probably should have had this ready beforehand, right? Okay, here we are. Again, guys, if you're listening to this on audio, I'm pulling up this video on Twitter. If you want to see the video, version of this podcast, go to YouTube. On the YouTube, you can just type in the TryHard Podcast, or you can subscribe to my channel at Garza Beats, and you'll be able to see that. All right, here we go. This is Clayster talking about him not having any. He says he has no offers for BO6 and he might not compete. So we'll see we'll see about that. Here we go.
Well, I got 0 offers, Dill, so it looks like I'm not playing, bro.
Nah.
No way.
A lot of time left.
There's a lot of time. You gotta see how it shakes out.
There's only 4 potential spots, dude.
You gotta see how it shakes out, man.
Nah.
Right now.
4? Okay, so you gotta think about it this way, right? Top 4 ain't picking me up, right? So that's 4 off the board, right? Then you got LA Thieves, who's not making a change because they just got second and they got a young roster.
They're not making a change.
Right, so that's 5. Then you got Heretics, all Spanish, 6.
You we're late on the intel.
You got Falcons, that's 7. So then you got 5 left or 4 left, right? Because LAG isn't in fucking Oregon anymore, right?
What's on my gun?
So you got 4 left. You got Carolina, you got Boston, you got Rocker, and you got Surge. Fuck your gun, dude. So there's those 4, right? I just got kicked off Carolina, so that's not an option. There's
maybe they changed their mind and pick you back up.
There's only 3 other options.
All right, so you guys get the drift on that, right? So that's Clayster pretty much breaking down why he doesn't have offers. If he's not trolling, all right, he might be trolling. Okay, he might be trolling. Now, me personally, I think it would be a travesty if somebody like Clayster wasn't a part of the Call of Duty League at all. You know what I mean? It would be a fucking travesty. It would be a travesty. You understand me? Now, why do I say that? Well, I mean, it's pretty clear. The guy he's an OG. He's been, you know what I mean? He's been a part of the scene for some time, right? He was one of the guys. Think about someone like Clayster, all right? Think about someone like Clayster. This is a guy that was around the scene when no one knew what competitive esports was. No one knew what competitive Call of Duty was, right? We're talking about ponytail Clayster, all right? He's not some guy that just showed up a couple of years ago and just is a pro now, right? He's one of the players that paved the way for players to have the careers that they have, right? Without Clayster, without his without him contributing to the entire scene, you know, like he's a vital part on the overall like landscape of the Call of Duty esports scene, right? Now, him not having offers as a player I'm not totally against that. All right. I'm not saying that he's bad. He's a bad player or he's a shit. He's not. He's still a decently good player, right? But if you're looking at it from an org point, right, from a CDL team, if you're looking at it from their point of view, I understand it. Okay, we're talking about a player in Clayster who is at the tail end of his career. Okay, that doesn't mean he's bad. It means that he's at the tail end of his career. Okay, we've seen the ceiling. He's never. Let's be honest with ourselves. I love Clayster. You guys love Clayster. He's never going to reach that ceiling again. Okay, we're never going to have a Clayster that is the best player in the world again. It's not going to happen. Okay. As a CDL team, when you're building your roster, okay, and when you want to add an older player like someone like Clayster, right, you have to have a clear point of view on why you're adding that player. Now, again, I'm talking if I was a GM for a CDL team, am I going to choose Clayster to build around? In my opinion, no, I'm not. All right, I'm not doing that. Again, not because I think Clayster's shit, not because I think he's washed. It's because if I'm building a team, I'm building for now and then in the future. Okay? That's what I think a GM should do, especially when it comes to building a Call of Duty team. Me personally, I'm gonna have one or two superstars. One or two guys that either one that's a superstar already or one or two guys who I think are gonna be superstars. Those are the ones I'm building around. Now those guys are more than likely younger players, right? 19, 20, 21, 22, right? Younger players. Okay? Guys who aren't yet at the middle of their career yet. Okay? If I'm building a team from scratch, okay, I got my young guns, then I got a middle of the road guy, a guy who's established in the league, okay? He's got the untapped potential, but we've seen him play at a high level. We know what he's capable of, right? But he's not somebody that we're going to like depend on to win the entire event for us, right? That's what our superstars are for. Then we have a guy like Clayster, right? That's the guy that I bring in to kind of have that maturity and have that sense of like keep shit together, right? Stay focused, guys. He's my stay focused guy. He's the guy when people are showing up late to practice, when people are whining, complaining. He's the guy as the vet that I expect to come in and get everybody whipped into shape, right? Now, gameplay wise, right? In-game wise, that guy might not be at the top level as far as a player, right? But he does what he has to keep the team together and on the same page and carries his weight when it comes to in-game. You understand? Now, you, as a player like that I just mentioned, right, an older guy, end of his career, he has to be to the point where he's okay with that, right? He's got to be to the point where he understands that it's not his team. He's the role player guy. Okay? And he's got to have that understanding and be okay with being the role player guy. Now, is Clayster one of those guys? Maybe, maybe not. If he's not, and these other teams are making moves and they're not reaching out to you, maybe they think that you don't think that you are. Maybe you think that you've watched Clayster play in the last couple of years. When his teams are doing bad, I think sometimes he can be a vibe kill. All right? Sometimes I think that. And I'm not trying to bash him or anything. So if you're one of those guys who maybe gets too upset when you lose, or you know what I mean? Maybe you're not a good guy to like. I'm not even gonna say that. It's more of, I don't think he has the mentality yet of like, you're not the star. He doesn't have the mentality yet. The understanding of like, if somebody's got to go, it's going to be you, old fuck. I'm not sure if he has that mentality yet. I could be wrong. All right, I could be wrong. Okay. Now that's on the player side. Okay. That's me kind of understanding and agreeing with the teams for not actually reaching out to him. Now, that's the player side. There's zero shot if you're a bottom 4 team or in a middle row team, middle of the field team. If you need a coach, analyst, assistant coach, whatever, and Clayster isn't on the roster, why not use him for that? The knowledge he has is, it's unbeatable, right? The knowledge he has could be the thing that your team might be missing, right? And he's an ex-player. Okay? So the players are going to respect him. It's Clayster. You understand? Now, does Clayster want to be a coach? He had his little time. He did he was on the desk for the EWC, or was it Champs? One of the two. He did some analyst desk work for them, right? Or does he just want to do that? Or maybe he thinks he can still play at a high level and he wants to be a player and not a coach. And if that's the case, then everything I said about him maybe not having that mindset of just being the role player, maybe he's not there yet. You know? But either way, regardless of everything I just said is bullshit, regardless, because he needs to be in the league. Some shape, way, form, he's got to be in the league. As a coach, as an analyst, as a desk personality, as anything. That's what the league, that's what Call of Duty Esports owes that man for what he's helped build. Okay, this is one of my bigger complaints with Killa not being a part of the league. You guys know who Killa is, right? If you don't, do your fucking homework. All right, do your homework on Killa. Shout out to Killa. Like, him not being in the league, right? It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Now, Clayster is like, and you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, Clayster has to have a spot in the league. He has to. He has to. And again, I think he might be in that little clip we just watched. It might be some trolling, and it might be some fact to it. I don't know. We'll see. Shout out to Clayster, man. I hope he gets on the spot. I hope he finds some kind of spot, either as a player or coach or whatever, bro. That man should not be unemployed when it comes to esports, especially Call of Duty esports. Let me tell you something. Cold water. Fuck your juice. Fuck your lemonade. Fuck your cold soda. Cold water, brother? I mean, it just hits different. It hits different. Cold water. Drink water, you piece of shit. Drink water. I can barely talk. Drink water. Listen, all right. So that's Clayster. Shout out to Clayster. Next, on the docket, Boston Breach. Another unexpected, not really unexpected announcement, but kind of unexpected move from Boston Breach. Now, I was one of the people who kind of not broke. I'm not gonna say broke, but I thought Boston Breach was leaving. I thought Boston Breach was trying to get the fuck out of the league. Okay? I also knew that they were talking to a couple other orgs who were trying to get back into the league, who were trying to get back into competitive COD, right? I might have said this in past episodes of the podcast. Go and check it out. And I said it on my stream too. If you don't follow me on stream, twitch.tv/GarzaBeats. I was aware that Boston Breach was talking to more than one orgs that wanted back into competitive Call of Duty, orgs that we know that have been around in the past, and they were in the talks with Boston on merging. You know, the good old merging. They like to use merging. It's not merging. It's let's merge, and then you just give us the spot, pretty much. That way you don't look like we just bought you guys out, which is all they're gonna do. But so I know that Boston was talking to one or more teams to merge, and I'm not sure if maybe the negotiations fell out. Maybe that team didn't want to pay Boston what they wanted. So Boston's sticking around for at least until next season. Maybe mid-season, if something happens where one of those teams comes through with the right offer and buys them out. But for now, going into BO6, Boston is coming back, I guess. They tweeted out yesterday. They welcome to Decrypted. This is a new little small, bite-sized style of docuseries they're going to be doing every 2 weeks. So they're going into the Black Ops 6 season. So pretty much saying that they're going to be around for the Black Ops 6 season, right? So they ain't going anywhere, I guess. So whatever happened, things didn't work out. With the offers, or they maybe decided to give one last go. Obviously they still, let a lot of people go within their brand, within their org. So I wonder how that's going to work out. And just judging off of what I've heard about the organization Oxygen, I'm assuming they're not going to be putting some crazy amount of money into the salaries of the players. So I would assume they're going to go the LAG route with getting 4 players on league minimums. So don't expect any major bag. Don't expect them having any major superstars. More than likely, it's going to be probably some challenger guys or the leftovers of Roster Mania, pretty much. And those guys will be they'll be on, you know what I mean? They'll be on strictly league minimums. So again, you're not going to get any. They're not going to sign any big signings. It's going to be the leftovers of the Roster Mania, and maybe some challenger guys. So which will be good. Get some first guys in there, and yeah. So that's where Boston Breach is going. I guess it's cool that they're staying in. I'm not sure if I'd heard or I'd read somewhere that Censor, Doug Martin Censor, was going to be kind of taking the role of GM. So I think Doug has got a good eye for talent. So if he uses his capabilities with that, I think he possibly can, get some unheard of guys. Doug, if you're listening, hit my DM if you want, and I'll aim you towards some of those guys that might not be. They're in the circle of top players, but they're not like mainstream yet. A couple of them just turned 18. Let me know. I'll lead you towards them. Pause. So yeah, that's Boston Breach. Again, one thing I don't like though. Let me tell you something, guys. Okay, one thing I don't like. Yeah, it's cool Boston's back, right? But can we stop with the whole poverty org thing? Can we stop with that? Can we stop with that? Can we stop with the whole tactical rab? You need to stop that shit, buddy. All right, tac rab, I love you. You need to stop with that shit. The whole poverty org thing, I don't like it. Like, stop saying that. You understand that these orgs, all right, these orgs have spent hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars into this esport, into competitive Call of Duty. Okay? So when you call them poverty orgs, like, bro, you're diminishing the efforts of a team that is trying their best to help grow the scene by paying players to play a video game. So can we stop with the poverty org shit? Can we stop with that? I just hate it. I hate it. So shout out to Boston Breach. I hope everything goes well for them, and I hope they can build a team to. I don't see them being in the top fucking half of the league, but at least build a team where you can still build a team where you're not at the bottom. So, GG's. We'll see what happens with Boston Breach. We'll keep you guys more updated with that. All right, so damn, we're at 30 minutes already. So we'll go to the final thing we're going to talk about today, and we're going to talk about the other day we seen Sib tweeted out that he was now a free agent or whatever, right? So everyone was kind of wondering, all right, what happened, is this and that. And yesterday or the day before that, Sib was in a BZ stream. They were all playing together. They were playing the beta. And Sib went on a little rant about the New York Subliners, kind of questioning their culture, their methods, and I get what he was doing. It kind of sounded like somebody that was upset that he got dropped, right? Which is understandable. But it's never good, okay? It's never good to talk bad about your previous employer, okay? Especially when you're trying to, get on another team. Now, it's Sib, so he should have one or two more offers already right now, right? So that's not going to affect him very much. But I just didn't like him talking about the culture there, their practice. He was talking about they practice at 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. or whatever, which, I mean, do the math, right? Understand. I get what he's saying, right? I get what he's saying. I didn't like he said something. Well, everyone knows we weren't going to beat Optic. Like, come on, bro. Like, you cannot have that attitude. You just can't. That's a horrible attitude to have, right? That's a horrible. Like, even the worst team in the league thinks that they were going to beat Optic, even if they weren't. They still thought that. Like, I don't know. I felt weird. I didn't like the tone he was taking, and just overall talking down on his previous team. Right now, if you're a GM looking at Sib to come to play for your team, I mean, if you're a normal person, you're looking at that and it's making you think twice. It's got to make you think twice, right? It's got to. Now, obviously, New York stayed with Kismet, Skies, and Hydra. You know, their previous world champs from MW2. Now, I was confused overall on them dropping Sib, just for the simple fact that Dreal, the coach of New York, which is now Cloud9, Dreal, the coach, who I think is the best coach in Call of Duty, in my opinion. All right, in my opinion, he's the best coach in Call of Duty. That's our Nick Saban. That's our Bill Belichick. That's our right. That's in my opinion. From what he did with that team, stepping in and then turning them into world champions. That's what made me confused about Sib's little rant, talking about the culture there. They wanted to practice all fucking day or whatever. You know, the practice times and I didn't understand that. Okay, I didn't understand that. Him questioning their methods. Okay, at the end of the day, New York made it to grand finals at champs, right? They made it to grand finals at champs. Okay, almost went back-to-back world champions. Okay, if you win the world championship, okay, actually, pause that. If you win the Call of Duty League championship with a certain method, and then the next season with the same method, you're back in the grand finals of the CDL championship. Clearly the method works. All right. You might not like the method, but it's showing you that this, if you do this, well, you're going to get here. So I didn't understand Sib kind of talking down on New York's methods. Because clearly it works. Clearly it worked. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I don't get what he's saying there. Now, also, it made me think. So when the whole Sib thing went down, with him announcing that he's a free agent, restricted free agent at that, it made me think. I'm like, wait, Dreal really wanted Sib. He wanted Sib to play for them. Okay? He really wanted Sib to play for them. And he got Sib. Okay? So when Sib announced that he was a restricted free agent, it made me wonder, wait, was Dreal a part of this? Was Dreal a part of this move? Or was he against it? I don't know. Just, I don't know. I almost felt like DM and Dreal. By the way, guys, we've Dreal. You're probably listening to this, bro. You need to come on the podcast. All right, you need to come. Last season we had him booked, and then something changed. Then I seen him at champs. Like, bro, you gotta come on the podcast. So Dreal, you listen to this. I know you're in Japan or where the fuck you're at, whatever part of the world you're at. You're coming on this podcast, before the next season. Okay, but here's the thing, guys. Please, bro, please listen. So it made me wonder about the whole Sib thing and Dreal. Was Dreal a part of this decision to let Sib go, right? And then today happened. Today, Scrimtel, I believe it was Scrimtel, released some information. Let's go to Scrimtel right now. Shout out to Scrimtel. Another guy I've been trying to get on the podcast, even though he's you don't know what he looks like, but I want to know what he looks like. Pause. Scrimtel tweeted this out 3 hours ago. Sources: Dreal is leaving C9, aka New York Subliners. So now, think about this now, guys. We got Sib announcing he's a free agent, and now we got Dreal leaving C9. Okay? So to me, that makes me think that maybe he had no say. Right? Maybe Hydra, Kismet, and Skies just pulled the trigger on that without kind of, or maybe they made it a team vote and he lost. Or maybe he wanted Sib gone too. Who knows? Either way, D-Real's leaving Cloud9. Okay? I tweeted this out earlier. C9 really just let Nick Saban of Call of Duty go. That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me at all. Okay? That makes no sense to me at all. Now, again, I don't have all the information. I'm telling you guys right now, I didn't talk to D-Real. I didn't talk to anybody. I have no information on it. So I'm giving you just my thoughts. That's it. I have no inside information. Even if fucking D-Real said it, he would never tell me anything. The guy is a class act and follows the rules. So I wouldn't even try to get any information out of him like that. But so I'm telling you, everything that I'm telling you is just guessing. All right. I think maybe D-Real, maybe, negotiations, money-wise, he's earned a pay raise. He's earned a pay raise. I brought you a world championship, and then I brought you second place in the world championship the next year. He's earned a pay raise. Maybe C9 didn't want to pay him. So now he's going to walk, which I think is stupid. Listen, Cloud9, whoever the New York subliners are now, Cloud9, right? Cloud9 OG org. I love you guys. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right? Welcome back. If you have a coach, all right, in my opinion, the Bill Belichick, the Nick Saban, listen for all you non-American football fans to look it up, Google it. If you have the Nick Saban and Bill Belichick of Call of Duty as a coach, you do not let that person walk. You give them what they need. As long as it's legal, you give them what they need. This man gave you a world championship, pause, Call of Duty League championship, and then he brought the exact same team plus Sib back again the next year to the grand finals of the CDL championship. Okay? That's like going to the Super Bowl back to back. And then the next season he's gone? How? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Now, again, I don't know all the information. I just know what I'm giving you guys, what I think. Okay? That's insane. It's insane. Makes no sense. Somebody let me know in the comments. Let me know. What's the angle here? I don't get it. Or are they trying to free up some money to go for scrap? It's got to be it. It's got to be it. It's got to be. It's got to be it. It's got to be it. They think that they can just. They think. I think. Listen. Now this is my. Again, you guys. I have no inside information when it comes to this. I don't know. I'm just giving you my opinion. I think Cloud9 thinks that the coach isn't as important as the superstar we're trying to bring in, Scrap. Therefore, we're not going to pay the coach the raise, the bump that he might want. Instead, we're going to tuck that money and we're going to shoot it at pause. We're going to shoot it at the superstar we're trying to get in Scrap. And we can just get fucking anybody. We can get Gersh from the flank to coach these guys and they'll be good. I think that's what Cloud9 thinks, which is insane to me. To me, a good coach, to me, the Bill Belichick, Nick Saban of Call of Duty is more important and more of a weapon to have than a guy in Scrap. Again, a superstar. He's a superstar now. He might not be a superstar next season. You don't know. But you do know you have a coach right now that brought you a CDL championship, MW2, and then CDL grand finals, CDL championship grand finals in MW3. Back to back. He took you to Super Bowl back to back years, and now he's walking. Make it make sense. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense. What are we doing here? What are we doing? What we're doing is possibly letting the inmates run the asylum. That's what we might be doing. That's what we might be doing. Letting the inmates run the asylum. If you don't get that reference, look it up. You young fucks, look it up. All right? Listen, guys, that's the end of today's episode. We're keeping these episodes short during the week. All right, pause. We're keeping them short. Short. We're at 45 minutes. We're going to end this shit right now. We'll be back maybe tomorrow or Friday. All right? Love you guys. God bless. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Listen, if you're watching on YouTube, drop a subscribe. Comment. Let me know how you guys liked it. If you're listening on with audio through Apple Podcasts or Spotify, rate the podcast 5 stars, please. Or drop a follow and subscribe. Whatever you got to do to help your boy out, do it. All right? Love you guys. God bless. And I hope you have a good night. Be nice to each other. Be kind. Don't be an asshole. Most importantly, wash your ass.